Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian, know not to control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live or listening in the replay. Always appreciate everyone that gets a chance to hop on live. This is a pop up episode. This is episode 169. Uh, Investor versus manager or advisor slash manager. So always appreciate everyone for tuning in live or even catching in a replay, going back and going over the content. Really asking for further, just clarity and conversation on the topic of when we talk about investor versus and what do they call it? Investment manager or investment advisor. Conversation. And so our goal here at the Vault is to always have the conversations that we're having when we sit around investors distinguishing themselves not to be managers. And then when you see managers that are clearly stated as just that, as managers, not as actual the original investment holder, and as well even an advisor. Advisor has traditionally no personal vested interest in the nature of the advisement. It's just advice coming from professional legal or professional, environment of standards that they have to, advise in their particular field. So our aim today particular episode is to cut through the chase, get more down to the matter of terms and what does it actually provide as we are sitting in an environment where there needs to be more of a clear distinction. What is an investment manager? What is a investment advisor? What is asset manager? Knowing that we are in the realm of asset managers, not just investors, but we're in the realm of investment managers or investment advisors. So when we get into investors and investors having capital initially, being able to present capital to the table, assets to the table, definitely a different position, a ton of leverage in that particular position, whereas the advisor is coming with some type of professional background, some type of information based theory and things of that nature. One of the things we wanted to point out was how investment advisors and managers look at more risk to the downside, whereas investors traditionally look at more of the upside. They're looking for more of a return of even outside of their initial capital. Whereas the advisors and the managers are not one thing, and even sitting in front of an entrepreneur earlier today and, just going through the loopity loop of what is a financial planner, what is a financial advisor, what is a financial manager or an asset manager. It's the same thing for advisor. What is a asset advisor, and things of that nature. So it's this broad spectrum of all these people that can have all this information, but nevertheless, you are either the investor or offering the advice or receiving the advice. And so we're talking about the managers, these advisors. These are could be a team of people. Could be multiple investment managers for the investor. It could be multiple financial advisors for the investor. And then we have asset managers now and asset advisors now who are advising tons of portfolios for investors or allocating capital if you're specifically a manager to different investments. Whereas the advisor is just stating once again theory and opinion, may not have as much capital as the investor, but claiming they're the expert in one particular field and why they have the advice for an investment to be made in a particular field, into a particular, whether it's security, when we talk about investments or property or capital, any of those allocations are very, very important. So, really wanted to distinguish the managers from the investor. Traditionally, investors have capital, invest broad, because the investor could be a group of investors, and so they're claimed as an investor, whereas a group of investors are still an investor because they can invest in single portfolios out of one portfolio into different things. And then you see that even with advisors and managers, how advisors and managers actually manage multiple portfolios for multiple investors, which a family or an individual may stand and be can manage teams and continuously managing business after the initial investment has been made, whether that is time or whether that is money. So, very, very eloquently said to know the difference, how to move forward in the capacity of knowing that investors. We just wanted to say that about the investors. This is an easy episode to talk about advisory versus management, just because well, even with management, the investor traditionally are looking for capital gain, great capital gains. We can see that across the board now. Very exciting to see a lot of self-directed investors that are doing more of an active approach. So investors are actually, but their team is in-house. They have either third-party brokerage information firms, and that's something that we've seen across the board recently. Is how investors are moving differently nowadays. That they say their vacation in on having an internal team, and we see that more and more as family offices are created, whether that's in trust or in foundations. You can just see that across the board, whether LLC, C corps, any of those different things. So definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in live or listening to replay. I give you all opportunity to type a question into the chat. Feel free to type a question into the chat. Maybe I can answer a question or two about the particular subject that we're talking about when it comes to investor versus advisor slash manager, just because this is a very important topic that we saw sitting in a room of asset managers. So really, they weren't the initial investor, but when you do music and then you have money now, going back and giving back and creating studios or publishing other people or endorsing other people is a way to make capital back, and sponsoring is a way to make capital that we've seen a lot of them stay in that field or jump in that field as a player of endorsing. Really, they call it sponsoring. Uh, so it's interesting to see the investors make self-directed plays, whereas the asset managers now, every single time, advisor is definitely different. Asset manager can for sure be in that particular category. So, very excited about this episode. Appreciate you all for tuning in live or listening to replay. Definitely going to be bringing some more pop-up episodes. Just really wanted to do this one in particular to go over this particular subject. Once you know the difference and you're clear about that, we know what investors are really here to do, and then what our asset managers go for, and addressing them in that fashion, knowing that they work for the investor traditionally. Advisors don't usually work for the investor. People can say, oh, well, they work for me, but think about it. Someone's giving you something as an advisor or manager to go out and grow. So an investor traditionally already holds it. They hold it because they built it up. So there's even a keener sense of the marketplace, something that advisors say that they have, managers say that they have, and which we agree they do partially, but the investor traditionally has that. And so, just to know that even an advisor is not always a direct investor, the manager is not always a direct investor. And that's the difference. Knowing those titles will really give you a distinction between, okay, I know the difference now. So we just really wanted to point out that distinction, share with you to get in your Black's Law Dictionary. And we appreciate you all. Peace and blessings. Christian at trustchristian.com.